Hi everyone. So today we are going to understand the format of writing module in the IELTS examination. So basically we are going to understand the criteria and the word length of the writing section. So we are going to know that how many tasks are going to be there, how we should complete them, that what should be the word length which each task requires, and how these two tasks are going to be different from each other. So let's get started. So first of all, to get an overview, in the writing section of IELTS examination, you have to complete two tasks, and these tasks are to be solved in 60 minutes. Now here you are going to be given 60 minutes and you have to divide your time accordingly for these two tasks. Now the types of tasks are very different in nature and their word length is different as well. Now the task 1 can be report writing or letter writing according to the mode of examination, and the task 2 is essay writing. Let's learn about these factors in detail. So first of all, how many questions are there in the writing module? So you get 60 minutes to complete the writing module, and there are two tasks which one has to solve in the writing module. Now we know that there are two types of examination, an academic exam and a general training exam. So the task 1 for academic exam is a report writing task, and the task 2 for both of them is an essay writing question, whether it's academic or general. Now in case of a general training, the task 1 is a letter writing question. Now here in task 2, which is same for both of the examinations, you have to write an essay which is naturally going to take more time. So here you have to divide your time accordingly to complete both of these tasks. So there is not going to be a separate timer for task 1 or task 2. You will be given one timer of 60 minutes, and you have to divide and time yourself separately for these two tasks. Let's learn how can we do that. Now when it comes to the word length varies in both the tasks. So we are going to understand in the coming slides how much time should we denote for each task. Now let's understand the first question, which is a report writing task 1. So this is the task 1 of academic module. In this question, you have to write the main points and make comparisons of the data given to you. Now, this data is going to be present in one of the forms of a visual input. Now, this data can be present in a line graph, bar chart, pie chart, table, process, or a map or diagram. Let's quickly understand what kind of visual inputs these are. In case of a line graph, you are going to have a vertical axis and a horizontal axis, and the graphs or the curves are shown with the help of lines. That these curves are going to tell you the trend which is being followed in the sections. In case of a bar chart, you are going to have bars which depict a particular trend of increasing or decreasing. Now, in both of these visual inputs, you have to comprehend the values from the vertical axis. So sometimes it can be a difficult task. Some values can be very near to each other. So you can use the adverb approximately over here to mention the values. Now in case of a pie chart, you are going to have a circular shaped chart in which different proportions are going to be discussed, and the percentage of each proportion is mentioned. In case of a table, you are going to have rows and columns in which the information is going to be present. You have to carefully notice that how many sections are there and how these information are present. In case of a process, you can have any process which switches something from A to B to C to D and so on, depending on the number of steps which are involved. So basically you have to tell how this process is going on and how one thing is being manufactured since scratch. In case of a map, you can have a layout of a place or any layout of office, building or town or city, and you have to tell what are the major changes in case of the map. Now the last one, which is a diagram. So diagram can also be categorized as a map or a process. Sometimes there can be a cyclical process as well, which is also categorized under diagram. The difference is that in cyclical process, the thing with which we start with ends up becoming the final place as well. That if the process is starting from A to B to C to D, in the final step D is going to relap with A. So these are the different visual inputs which one might encounter in the task 1. Now the next question is, how long do you have to write in task 1? So in the report writing question, you have to write at least 150 words in your answer. If you write less than 150, then there can be a deduction in your score. Now you can write more than 150 words as well and encapsulate the major features present in the visual input. So you can write around 150 to 200 words as well in this task 1. Now the next question is about time. So how much time should we denote to the task 1 out of the 60 minutes which we are given for the task 1? So we should try to finish our report writing by 20 minutes so that we can save the rest of the 40 minutes for task 2, as naturally the word length for an essay is more as compared to the task 1. Now you should not exceed more than 200 words, although there isn't any upper limit. But if you write more than 200 words, genuinely it's going to take you more than 20 minutes, which is why you should try to keep the count in 150 to 200 words. Now the next type of question is the letter writing task. Now this is the task 1 of general training module. In this question you have to write a letter and convey information given in the question statement. Now the different types of letter are formal letter, informal letter and semi-formal letter. Now formal letter is a letter when you are writing to someone who you don't know. It can be someone unknown, someone of a higher authority, someone who is going to solve a problem for you, or any other situation as mentioned in the question. Now in a formal letter you have to be really sensitive about the kind of language which you are portraying. So the language should be formal and we should not use any slangs or abbreviation. Some examples of a formal letter is where you are writing a letter to the editor, to the any corporation, any government employee, etc. Moving on to informal letter, these are the letters where you definitely know the person on a personal level and you know the person really well who you are writing this letter to. It can be your friends, your family, any of your near and dear ones. The third category is a little bit tricky to understand. So here it's known as a semi-formal letter. So it basically is written to people who we know, but we don't know them on a personal level, that we are not friendly with them. For example, it can be your boss or your manager. So you know this person, your boss or manager, but you don't interact with them on a friendly basis or on an informal basis. So these are categorized as semi-formal letters. Some other examples can be writing a letter to a colleague or your neighborhood, etc. Now here again you have to write at least 150 words in your answer. If you write less than that, there can be a deduction in your score. You can write more than 150 words as well in this case, but you should try to keep it between 150 to 200 to manage the time well. Let's move ahead towards the other question. which is task 2. So task 2 is an essay writing question. So here's a mistake. All right. So task 2 is an essay writing question. So this is the task 2 of writing section, whether you are going for academic or you are going for a general exam. This task is same for both. In this task, you have to write an essay on the given topic. The topics can revolve around any general theme or a latest topic. So whichever essay you get, whichever question statement you get, you have to understand the instructions very carefully, that what exactly you need to answer in this essay. Now here in task 2, you have to write at least 250 words in your answer. If you write less than 250, then there can be a reduction in your score. You can write more than 250 words as well and mention the answers to all the instructions mentioned in the question statement. So that is how we discussed the criteria of the letter writing and essay writing along with the task 1 of report writing. I hope this was helpful and it gave you some clarity regarding the format of writing section. Thank you.